Yeah. Let's see. Do I have to come on the railway and get a size? No grade. I see. Triple three. And you know, many shits for a minute. I found my balance with all things, so you know I'm keeping that rope and I keep my vibe. Yeah, no shit to me, so I had to be moving. Mess of the underworld, no haters, no one bad chicks, she's trying to have my baby. And I had to feel fun, but I'm all niggas hating. Didn't believe me when I said I had to do better for myself. So for me, I had to put that shit up on the shelf, and you know I'm looking well. I'm only at 11 on the beat. First time I heard this shit, man, I got back on my feet. Never do dirty bass on my feet, yeah, you know what it is. I just been going, applying pressure, nigga, don't be surprised that I'm on my shit. On the way, I'm doing better for myself. Feel kinda good, just flying like good ocean. And I got on my pop back to myself. Supreme beat, no ocean and shit. Yeah, I got on my pop back to myself. Let it back, no ocean and shit. Had to be going something on my groove. Yeah, not doing dirty bass. And I built discipline, man, for myself. Shining bright the sun, yeah, you know just what it is. True stars what I am. And all elements in a pentagram. If you scared, go to church, don't frown. Don't frown, fuck put on this shit to the crown. Catch the fun, wet like to be round. When I'm on the mic, on my shit, no one's jumping out, still speaking truth in this bitch. And I use my sword, that's in my mind. Bulldoze transforming this whole and shit. And you know I'm flowing to the top of clarity and shit. Clarity, I'm ready. And I know you don't gotta tell me that shit. And it's SCW, we just left the photo show. Why you asking? No, it's candy like each other last bit too. Had to separate, I don't know why they play like a fool. What's going on my girl? When I came to that realization, I had to rebrand me. I had to stay true, and I had to be branded. No, I could another flight too, man, I'm never letting it fall. I'm gonna speak real quick, complete in like 30 minutes, ain't fluid and shit. And I'm not wondering what's happened to you. I know you bet you come and I ain't no fool. And how you don't know about the universal laws, so I heard they're going cool and I'm feeling real smooth. And still for my dogs, on the block, we was on the spot and it got kinda hot. My one homie had to do dash real fast. Like Matrix, he does not a shot. And you know me, don't talk about street shit usually. But this is real life, man, I had to keep it P. When I know I had a better plan from me, man, I could push your 10 toes, man, roll me. It's not just music. Astrology Tuesdays. I should make it a segment. And when I found my purpose, young nigga knew I was chosen. I seen like many a call, but a few I chosen, so I didn't stall. Took my shot, so I shot that ball. No rim, I'm switching, you know I never stall. And that's why I say I never need no shot clock. You know it's MC, man, I always ball. If you tryna ball like this, gotta bring value to the team. Keep shit cool, sip pinches of tea. Yeah, got the tea. Yeah, flowing, roll me. MC, triple three. What you gotta say about me? I'm scared, I'm only scoring for the team. Please don't look this way if you ain't rocking with me. But I'm focusing on yourself if you tryna say cheese. And gratitude, the world coming to me. Yo, shout out to everyone tapping in on the music and running up the tracks. Shout out to you guys still, because without y'all, fuck. And do everything for the people, man. I appreciate everyone tapping in. Shout out to everyone on the live. Today is something a little different, and honestly, this was gonna be pre-record, but I was like, you know what? Let me just do this live. Let me come on live, chop it up, and see what everyone's dealing with, how the energy's like as a collective, you know? Because I've been observing and noticing certain things from certain individuals and how they're expressing their energies, and you know, kind of what everyone's feeling as a collective during this eclipse season. So it's interesting. So that kind of was the incentive for me to kind of come live and get the response from y'all to see how y'all are feeling and handling all the eclipse energy. So if y'all noticing certain things around this time too, and in terms of, because there's a big shift going on for sure. A lot of cycles, a major cycle has just been completed. I feel like it is from at least a 2-3 year cycle plus, but I gotta check the date from the corresponding full moon and things of that nature. But we did just complete a big cycle. There is just a major shift going on right now, and a lot of people are feeling it. I've noticed a lot of information from other people, so I like to see what y'all have to say. I do think that we experience things as well differently based upon the seeds that we plant, aka our intent. So that'll always be different in terms of our experience, right? Whether I experience something that's positive, whether someone else experiences something that's negative, etc., which is also subjective, very subjective. So obviously what's good for me can be terrible for someone else. So really that's for your own due diligence to make the conscious decision of, well, you know what, this experience isn't actually that bad, and you can see the positive outcome from it based upon the seeds you were planting compared to
how the collective feels the energy. So that's always one way for you to dissect your own energy as an individual and the seeds of intent that you've planted um, for yourself, you know. And many other things can become seeds as well based upon our actions and things of that nature, our voice. Just something like this, me being on a video talking, I'm planting seeds. um, so I think us as individuals, we can always know, okay, well, no, I'm experiencing this positively because I've had a positive impact, or what I put out has been positive in my life. So you're going to experience a positive a positive impact, right? Eclipses and full moons and stuff like that, guys, are very powerful times, and a lot of times a lot of great things can happen around those times. A lot of fruitions, right, come, a lot of new beginnings around these times. So it's very important to see where you're being moved to, and like what position you're being moved in, or what position you're being put in, how you're positioning yourself, and how you want to move forward, right? Whether you're experiencing the chaotic type energy, or you're actually experiencing the fruition to where the seeds that you've been planting are starting to harvest. You're starting to become, instead of, you know, releasing, letting go, and purging, which that is a very big theme with the eclipse energy. It's more so it's more so receiving. It's more so harvest, right? Because you got to remember that Libra as well is also a fall sign, and it also deals with harvest, right? Because when we back up a little bit and go into Libra season, that's a time of harvest. So this moon is actually a time of harvest, and the eclipse is actually a time of a point of initiation to move forward with how you're harvesting, right? It's kind of like ushering, um, propelling what you reap, right? For other that's if you've kind of been doing the alchemy of it, planting the seeds in accordance. A lot of people will have the more chaotic energy. That's why we get full moon scenarios to where a lot of shit goes down on a full moon, and I'm sure you've experienced it too. Because energy is so high, a lot of shit goes down on the full moon. It's okay, YouTube. It's all good. Um, so you have to be mindful just about those times, because you can notice a lot of stuff, a lot of terrible stuff happen around around a full moon, right? And I'm only telling you that to be aware of it, because you will see it, you will see it, and things happen all the time. But I keenly notice things happen on full moons. So which is all based upon the seeds that we plant. Sometimes we do things unconsciously, some because, you know, a lot of times it's our subconscious programming. Our conscious mind is only 10% of our, we really only use 10%, what they say, 10% of our brain, etc. Everything else is really subconscious, which we have access to. It's just subconscious, aka what they refer to as sub and unconscious. So, um, which we do have access to. So, with that being said, crazy energy, crazy shift right now. Happy solar return to my Aries out there. I hope this season's been good to you. Pisces season was amazing, creatively for me. I'm a Pisces first house though, so of course, you know, that's just how it be. But I'm excited for Aries season as well, as it goes into my second house of earnings and income, possessions and material and things of that nature. Also areas of the body such as my throat and my jaw and stuff like that. I've been noticing more emphasis around that area. Make sure you guys like I'm big into health as well. So if you guys incorporate, if you guys do utilize astrology, look into the health side of astrology, because you can tap in and learn a lot about the house system, and the health of your body in each areas of these of your life, right? They also have corresponding organs to the house system, right? um, and when you know certain corresponding organs based upon certain transits, you can be aware of certain things and how to treat and be, and kind of really treat, you can kind of get to the direct correspondence of it. And I'm not like, obviously I don't need to say this, I'm not like a medical expert, of course, of course. I'm speaking esoterically, because I do believe that everything stems from within. So if you can, if you do that energy, if you map that out as above so below, and you do the correspondence, and you know what transits are affecting, because transits, right, these are all cycles and transitions. Like planets are like I look at planets like water, right? Like bodies of water, like consciousness. our physical bodies are bodies of water. So as we transit, right, there's a major correspondence there. So it's very important to be aware of that, right? Because at the end of the day, when we do these things like just want to stay on topic here because I can get into a bunch of different things. But guys, long story short, let's get into the house system. We do have 12 houses to break down, so let's move right into it. Um, that is a great topic, though. At the end of the day, I want to touch on that as well, because at the end of the day, your body is water. Planets are a form of consciousness, which stems from the mind. Consciousness is a form of fluid as well, bends in on itself to create the body, our organs, etc. So when you know how to map out a certain transit in the sky, you have to understand that your body is going through a certain transit as well. So when you map it out as above, so below, and you know what transit is where, and what planet, what form of consciousness that is, and where in what area of the body that is, aka what area of your life has an area of the body, and then you can make the correspondence. Okay, this is going here. Let me tap in and let me work on some of this energy in this area because that may need some work, right? We do those kind of 12, kind of through every month, right? As we get to 1 through 12, and we're pretty much looking after each of our organs, each of our bodily spots, our energy centers and our organs, um, and kind of tending them, right? Because a lot of times we can pass through time and we're kind of just floating through time and we forget about these things until we reach an age where we lose out on something. When you understand we're always transiting, you can say, okay, well, this month let's work on my mind, like first house type stuff. This month that's mental, right? Because you can always say you can always say brain health, right? Mushrooms, non-psychedelic. I'm not even referring to psychedelics, right? Like things of that nature, lion's mane, chaga, turkey tail. Like I deal with those mushrooms on the regular. So like first house trance, you can do more brain work, right? Things of that nature. As second house comes around, you can do more physical activity, more upper body movement, things of that nature. More chest work, more heart work. We get to third house type stuff. So it's just interesting when you can make the correspondence. So guys, don't ever forget that. Anyways, let's get right into it. Mercury is retrograde. Sun just entered Aries, and Mercury is retrograde in Aries as well. So Sun and Mercury conjunct. Conjunction going on right now in Aries. So first of all, a lot of actions and a lot of words that are being spoken right now. We just entered retrograde, so a lot of actions that want to be taken, right? With the sun, of course, is very assertive, very swift, very dominating, right? Very initiating. But Mercury, in the other hand, retrograde in Aries, which is funny because Mercury is obviously the mind, and Aries is also fast. It's a fast planet, fast speaking, fast thinking, fast acting, etc. Energetically, right? So we have to remember that Mercury, the mind, and Aries, both speed, is a very fast process of thinking, right? It's very fast process of analyzing. It's very fast process of speaking. Conversations are very quick. Conversations can be very short, can seem very short right now. Quick-witted. A lot of the Aries energy ruled by Mars. So there's a lot of like passive aggressiveness as well in the air, passive aggression. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that as well. To understand that if you can't take the right actions, or not even the right actions, but if you always be consciously aware of your actions, right? But if you can't take the actions you want right now, right away, Mercury is teaching you to slow down mentally. And it's okay to slow down. And what areas of your life are you missing out? Do you need to analyze it? Do you need to reaffirm? Do you need to restructure? Right? Before you go and take that leap. Because retrograde right now, Aries season is just showing us there's something that we need to pinpoint, right? To understand, okay, let's let's tap into that energy, right? And understand, okay, we want to take action right now, but what's stopping us from taking action? There's something that you may want to take action on that you may need to reconsider, right? Something comes up, type energy, which obviously can deal with, Mercury, communication, mind, transportation, technology, right? This goes with cell phones, all kinds of stuff, right? So be mindful of all those things during these next 3 to 4 weeks, etc. That is that. So be mindful of the passive aggression. Notes are good as well around these times. I don't have like a note thing, like layout for you guys, but I do have a structured way of how I'm breaking it down for you throughout the video. But yes, passive aggressive, certain actions you may want to take that you may not be able to take because there's certain things you have to get in place right now, organize. Certain things you got to think through a little bit more, right? There's certain things like Mercury is asking you to not take action so fast, but make sure you're there mentally first, right? So that's the important part. Make sure you're there mentally and make sure you have everything down packed, right? Retrogrades, that's what they say, don't travel during a retrograde, right? Because communications, you want to take the actions, but communications is a little slow-witted. So you have to really make sure to take the time and the process to slow down. See, in Aries, it doesn't like to slow down. Aries doesn't like to slow down. So that's the kind of the conflicting energy, right? That internal conflict that you may feel. So be mindful of that as well. So Spirit's asking you to be patient, get grounded, assess your surroundings, assess your environment and what you want to do, and what you need to put in place in order for you to do so. It's taking that extra step. That's what retrograde is slow. That's how retrograde is slowing us down, by taking that extra step to really assure what we're doing and assure our actions, right? Retrogrades are not something to be afraid of. Retrogrades are very great times, like very good times. I notice myself when retrogrades come around, I start tapping back into things that like I always do. It's like a reminder. Don't go astray, right? Don't fall astray. So it kind of it pushes you forward, and then when you get like a little too far and you forget where you came from, it's like, okay, wait, come, pull you back real quick. All right, now just remember you were here, you were there, you did all this, but focus on here right now where you came from. Make sure it's solid, so as you keep moving forward, you good and you don't forget where you come from, right? That's what Mercury is letting you know right now. The sun. Yeah, we know the sun is in Aries, so yeah, that's good. Mercury. Obviously, we know Mercury is really quick. It can be impulsive. It can be direct in Aries as well. So be mindful of, like I said, harsh conversation, passive aggressive conversation. Be patient with your partners and your relationships, etc. You can get very annoyed right now. Mental capacity may not seem to be there 100%. As well, like, in terms of how your diplomacy, how you handle conversation, right? I think that it may be a little less understanding, right? Instead of like analyzing and sitting back like, yeah, it's like, no, like like you want it to click quick, but it doesn't click quick, so you need that patience. Like that's what Mercury does. So it can seem frustrating sometimes, but it's really teaching you patience. And when you sit back and you ask what you can learn from retrogrades, it's a lot. So don't take them for granted. They're very good times. You'll probably notice yourself tapping back into things you used to do in some way, shape, or form. Whether, I have a Gemini 5th house, so I do a lot of mercurial stuff for fun. Like, Gemini is ruled by Mercury, so like that. My fun is a lot of Mercury type stuff. So I really get that when I say that. I really understand that. But you may not do as much, writing and notes and journaling and stuff like that. But music and using your voice and talking and just things like this. But you will notice certain things, and based upon what houses you have this in, you may notice certain things in your life in terms of what you're going back to, right? even just thinking of how old ways of thinking. Maybe there's certain mindsets and certain ways of thinking that that you need to continue, but like you slipped up while we weren't in retrograde, and now retrograde's here, and you're like, damn, like I really need to keep that vibe. I really need to keep that mindset. That's a big emphasis right now too. Anyways, let's get it. First house. Let me put this sage away though, because it's rolling off my tables. Yeah, so anyways, I hope y'all had a great week. It's Mars Day. It's actually a great day to do Aries. I didn't really intend it to be like that, but it's okay. And then matching my colors and things. That's good. Yeah, this was a spontaneous video, so it is what it is. Shout out to all y'all. Mercury in Aries, first house. Let's see. So I'm gonna get into like some first house things, into the first house in terms of Mercury, in terms of Aries. So obviously we know the first house is related to self. First house is a house of self, all centered around kind of you. Your first house is also corresponding to your rising sign, so it's how others see you as well, right? How how you appear to other people, other individuals. A lot of first house individuals, career, they deal with leadership. They're very pioneers. They're very self-centered. They can work alone a lot. They're very big on self-employment. When you see a lot of first house energy, these are these individuals. But with that being said, first house in the house of self, as you transit through Aries, through the first house, Mercury, good time, express yourself. Also a great month to confront people or situations that have been bothering you, right? Be assertive. But with retrograde here, right, that may be something that is teaching you. You may want to confront people and situations that have been bothering you, but certain things, it may not be the right time to express it or to do so, right? Mercury could be asking you, how do you need to slow your mind down and think about this situation. You could be thinking about this situation like you want to confront them, but that's not how you should be thinking about this situation. Retrograde is teaching you not to think practically, right? It's taking you out of your logical mindset. It's putting you in your right brain more than your traditional left, right? Mercury is a masculine energy, so it's very logical, it's very practical. But this is taking you out of practicality. So right now, being practical actually won't work. Be mindful of that as well. So as you talk more about yourself and you express more about who you are, don't be shy to express the flaws, and don't be shy to express what you've learned about yourself and what you need to do in order to move forward, right? When it comes to self-development or personal growth. For situations that have been bothering you and you want to utilize your voice, sit back and ask if utilizing your voice or speaking up right now is the right thing to do. And if it really makes sense, because it may not actually make sense to do it right now. So it may be best for you to kind of wait it out in some way, shape, or form, possibly till this retrograde passes, right? There could be a lot of ways of thinking about your self-identity that Mercury is asking you to rethink, and re-utter, right? Re-usher or bring back into your life, welcome back into your life. So be mindful of that too. Second house. Second house, obviously ruled by the birthspace of Taurus. Second house, career, family, food, money, possession, speech, singing, voice, all that kind of stuff. The jawline, the teeth, when it comes to organs and bone structure and things of that nature. Taurus deals with earnings as well, opposite 8th house. It deals with, I'd say more day-to-day earnings compared to 8th house collective earnings, or residual, not really residual, but like there's inheritance there as well. And I more so lump sum income. That's the word I was looking for. Lump sum income with the eighth house. So eighth house is more lump sum income, banks, stuff like that, loans, you know. And second house is more so day to day, your day job, your career, things of that nature, right? But also your values, your individual values as well, what you value as an individual, right? When you have that first house in self-center, you now display your value. That's when we go to the second house. Even in life, guys, we play these things out all the way. That's why the house system is so important from 1 to 2. You know, if you don't understand your value, you probably don't have a strong sense of self. You get what I'm saying? That like it adds on to each other to build a full character or a full mind, right? I could say that a full mind, because these things are mental, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm in the middle of like work right now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's it called? That's as far as the second house, y'all. So we're doing renos at the house, and like we're repairing my gas line right now. So a lot of things going on. But I said, let me come on here, chop it up, send a message. It's important. So as we move into the second house, Mercury, let's see. So obviously, give your finances a thorough going over during this month. That's major. You gotta analyze that. You gotta think about that. Take some notes. If necessary, get advice about how to handle your money and resources better. 100%. These may be things, and you see with Mercury in retrograde, you may notice that slowing down. Like you may notice, see, because retrogrades, right? You may not be getting, you may not be doing or giving your finances or your values proper analyzation, right? You may not be given the necessary thought process to your possessions, to your material, to your earnings, to your day job, right? So it's a very interesting thing how we display the energies of retrogrades, right? Because usually with Mercury there, we'd want to do that. We kind of give that analyzation. It's like right now it may seem tough for you to kind of sit down and get a grips and be practical and thinking over your finances right now, right? Um, it's asking you how do you feel, right? How do you feel about your finances more so than analyze, right? Because you can analyze however you want, and be practical however you want. It may not make sense to be practical. Like you can go over your finances and be like, well, okay, I'm making money, cool, right? If you don't like what you're doing though, does it make sense to keep doing it? And it may or may not to you, whoever you are as an individual, whether it's people worth the money, um, whether you're looking to survive, um, right? There's so many different things what that could be or why people do certain jobs, etc. So be mindful of that. See, it's gonna be Mercury will be retrograde this whole month. So as we get to the end of April and you move forward into May and we go back into Aries, then you may be more practical. So right now, I think you're like, for example, if you make money and you hate your job, who wants to work the job? Like I think at a point we come to a breaking point where it's like, hey, I'm not gonna do this anymore, right? Right? Like this feels shit. Like this is not what I want. Like this is not my vibe. This is not how I feel. This is not what I feel for myself. This is not what I feel I deserve for myself. And then we move forward into May and boom, we get back to the practicality. Okay, so now that I feel that what I'm doing is what I should be doing, let me take some notes and let me plan out and be mindful of my finances. I may have to do this differently now because it's a different job. Now it's a different field. So now I got to be more practical and make sense out of it. And how do I need to manage my earnings? How do I need to manage my income? How do I need to manage how much I'm spending based upon how much I'm making? Is it comparable to before, etc.? So Right now, it's asking you about how you feel towards your status, your job, your material, your values, etc. Mercury, third house. Third house deals with communication. Third house deals with a little bit of transportation, creative expression, information. Like I said, short journeys. Yeah, travel as well. Short journeys, trips, things of that nature, leisure. I think it would be more local travel than non-local. Neighborhood type stuff, city to city type stuff, same country or state to state type things, right? If you're that type of traveler, right? So Mercury in the third house, your best month all year for writing, reading, speaking, and taking short trips in a fast car, right? And you will notice this energy is really good for that right now. So with the retrograde here in the third house, and it's so conflicting. Mercury retrogrades can seem so conflicting. This is why it's such a abrasive or popular theme, because it's conflicting, because it's the heart and the mind, right? Um, it's that coherence. I think like astrologically, retrogrades teach us, especially Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde teaches us the correspondence between the heart and mind, right? Because I feel like just like I say that as I feel, right? As I say I feel, as I'm a water sign, but uh, that right there, sometimes you can feel something and not think it, right? It can be conflicting. Sometimes your feeling can conflict your thoughts, and it can vice versa. So it's very important in terms of Mercury retrograde and the conflicting energies. A lot of things can be conflicting, whether you can do this now, wait, go, right? A lot of pause, stop, go motions and all that, all that kind of stuff. Um, Guys, but right now is a very good time to do that stuff, right? Um, to express, to express some of that writing, some of that reading, some of that speaking. Maybe there's things like that you need to go over, right? Taking short trips. If you plan on taking a trip, there's certain things you may have to look over right now in terms of retrograde. Make sure the car is good. Um, don't do any big purchases. If you're traveling, make sure the paperwork is secure. Make sure the plane or the flight doesn't seem sketchy. You know what I'm saying? All those things. Form of communication. Look at how people are communicating to you as well. That'll give you a lot of incentive to how you should be communicating, right? What you should be putting out. It's maybe a good time as well to go over any music, any books you've been writing, any old books you've been reading, and any speaking or what's that word? Like presentations, for example, any things like that. It'd be a good time to look over that, look over the fine details, make sure everything's nice, make sure the words sound clear, and do that type of stuff. Mercury is very analytical, and retrograde is very focused on detail. Mercury rules Virgo. Virgo is also very focused on detail and very practical. So right now, for the third house folks, that creativity to focus on the detail within your expression, utilize that right now, and that'll help you get through this retrograde, because you're going to notice you may want to fine tune certain things, and it may be a good time to sit right now and fine tune what you've been working on in terms of writing, music, reading or speaking, or using your voice, etc. Very nice. Okay, Mercury, fourth house. Fourth house people, explore your family genealogy, right? Explore your family lineage, right? Um, Obviously, visit or call your family right now. That would be a big one. You can look over things within the home. Cleaning could be a big thing as well. Maybe certain things you may feel like this may feel like a big time for spring cleaning. Obviously, it is spring right now, and Aries season's here. Happy New Year. But really, that retrograde energy in the fourth house is like, okay, let's slow down. Let me assess my home and living situation. Let me clean up some things. Let me organize some things. Maybe throw some of these old things away to clear the space, cleanse the space. So that's a big thing as well. Don't be shy to see the family. You may be thinking as well to slow down and kind of clean the place or go over things within your house. Maybe paperwork over, regarding your house if you're a homeowner and things of that nature. Um, going over that type of stuff, lease information, landlord information, whether you deal with homes, you can be in the real estate field as well with the fourth house energy. Don't hesitate to reach out to your family as well. Usually that is the prompt, but retrograde may be stepping you back from reaching out to your family. Like, I don't really feel like I should reach out to that person, so I'm not gonna reach out to them right now. Like that. That's pretty much what that is as well. There, Mercury. So be mindful as that. Be mindful of that and make conscious conscious decisions. Obviously, which family you want to engage with. Moving on straight to the fifth house, Mercury in Aries retrograde. Fifth house, if this is you. Fifth house, obviously, the birth space of Leo constellation, born out the fifth house space, and Leo deals with the fifth house deals with sexual expression. You know what? Pleasure in general, not just sexual expression. Pleasure in general, all kinds of pleasure. It does deal with sex though, 100%. It deals with fun. It deals with creativity, and it deals with individuality, who you are at your core. Also, kids, a lot of children. So be mindful of that. Let's see. Let's get right into it. Promote your latest creative project. During this time, take a class to learn a new creative skill, such as playing an instrument, painting, or writing a screenplay. That would be nice. Screenplays, if that's you, that's a cool life skill set. But right now is a good time to learn a new creative skill. You may need to analyze or go over the skill sets you already have. That could be what Mercury retrograde is asking right now. Go over the skill sets that you already have, right? That you've already learned and that you've already developed, that you've been putting out there, right? Whether it's instruments, painting, learn and study more about what you've been doing, right? About what you've been putting out. Like I said, your personal expression as an individual. Learn more about those things, study about those things. You might be called to learn more about that. Maybe you do music. Maybe you're called to learn more about music right now, learning about the instruments, learning about the software, the dynamics of music, right? Learning about different genres. Maybe you're just intrigued right now. Good. Occupy that. That's good mentally because it's not so logical, but it's allowing you to express yourself and putting you into your more right brain energy, right? To where it's more creative, it's more feeling, and it's less anxiousness on the mind. Let's get into the sixth house. So sixth house, birth space of Virgo here. Mercury in the sixth house, guys. Sixth house does deal with work, routine, organization, scheduling, things of that nature. Health, the nervous system as well. So sixth house, make a list of everything in your life that needs repair. Set up a filing system or an archive. Sort through whatever old stuff you have in whatever old places you have them, right? Because all those things may need to be implemented in your life, right? I think the sixth house with Mercury there, guys. I think Mercury, Virgo's born. That's Mercury rules the sixth house. Virgo birthed from the sixth house. And we're in retrograde right now. Maybe certain things within your routine that you need to reanalyze, that you need to go over, that you need to reorganize. There may be certain things within your career or your job, whatever your job, what career is almost the same thing partially. Not necessarily. I can break that down. I'm not even getting into that. It's not the same thing, but generally speaking. Let's see. Right? So work, your routine, and your health, I think, are three big things right now a lot of people are looking at or may need to look at. So consider new routines, new scheduling, and new ways of thinking about your health and your prosperity, right? Because that goes in that's in correspondence to your career. So be mindful of that. If you're not happy with your career, you're not happy with your health, there's certain things you need to step back and implement some new routines, right? This is what it's asking you right now. You need to change something here. You need to change your career field, or you need to change the routine regarding your career so you can enjoy your career again. There's something blocking you from enjoying your career or doing the career that you want to do. You see what I'm saying? So it's time to reprogram that mind. It's time to curate a routine and do what you want to do. And it can be done and it can be achieved if you put your mind to it. If you set a routine, if you set habits, if you build yourself up to achieve what you want to achieve, you can achieve it. It's that simple, right? So, and obviously easier said than done, but you can do it. So, seventh house, Mercury. Let's see, seventh house, obviously birthplace of Libra, constellation, not even zodiac sign, so different things. Let's see. In terms of the seventh house, Libra deals with balance. Libra deals with relationships. Libra deals with diplomacy, conversation, court, um, the legal system, etc. Just trying to touch on a few different scenarios for y'all because I know a bunch of people in life go through a bunch of different shit. So you never know. Why? I should put my phone on D&D. Anyways, um, let's see. Pass the seventh house, Mercury. Pass the talking stick to your partner or closest friends. Handle communications that require diplomacy and negotiation, exactly as I said. So, right now, see, but how we go about handling diplomacy or tradition or negotiation and communication may not be how we're used to doing it. So it may not be the one-on-one conversation. It may not be the negotiation because that's not practical, because that's too practical for retrograde right now. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how we initially should, I guess, we should be doing shit. But with retrogrades, it teaches, okay, we gotta do things in different ways. Right? We gotta step back, do things in different ways, which is good because it keeps us dynamic, right? It keeps us on our toes, keeps us actually learning as spirits and bodies. So it can be a good thing. And it teaches us how to be adaptable, right? Because at the end of the day, not everyone is gonna be diplomatic. Some people won't. Some people don't like a diplomatic conversation. Some people don't like seriousness. Some people don't like negotiations. They'll get sweaty and they'll uncomfortable. You're scratching their head. And, you know what I'm saying? All kinds of shit. Some people have no poke face. Some people, they can't. They can't. So, which is fine. You see what I'm saying? And that's what this times like these teach you, how to be diplomatic in different ways. You see what I'm saying? Mercury, mutable, guys, mutable, adaptable, right? Flexible. That's what it's showing right now. How to do those things, how to adapt, right? How to handle communication in a way that's not so not so in the way of diplomacy or negotiation. And I think it's even if, especially relationships, because there's big relationships and big on business partnerships right now for y'all seventh house. So it's important for you guys in the seventh house, instead of the diplomacy and the negotiation, to more so reach out and analyze and like if you're the one like to ask, if it's business in certain things and you have to initiate certain conversation, ask and get their perspective. Don't go into it like it's a negotiation, right? Don't go into it like it's a negotiation. If you're someone who's has this transit and you're like doing services or trying to sell something to someone, right? In terms of career, get a lead or something like that, get a sale. Don't go into it like a negotiation, and don't go into it like you're being diplomatic, like you're trying to make a sale. go into it like you're trying to relate to this person and you're trying to see where they're at, right? Like you're trying to build a relationship. That's what it's teaching you. It's not just about the business, but the business comes from the relationships, right? So that's what's slowing you down mentally because you're used to like, all right, yeah, negotiation, lock in, boom, you know. But now it's not like right now it's not like that. So be mindful. Couple more houses to go, and we out here. See if we can bang it out by an hour, guys. Let's do this. Mercury in the 8th house. Obviously, 8th house, Scorpio energy, Scorpio space there. And obviously, you don't have to have. Obviously, this is Aries. This is Aries, right? I'm just giving reference to the houses and the birth space of that stems from each house, etc. What energy lies within each house, right? Because these spaces is what gives life to certain zodiac signs. What we call certain zodiac signs or certain zodiacal energies. Okay, should have definitely put my phone on D&D. Let's see. It's okay though. Let's see. Get some. Okay, Mercury 8th house. That's why I do say that though, y'all. 8th house deals with mysteries. 8th house deals with things that are hidden or beneath the surface, kind of like unseen and unconscious energy, kind of a little bit like 12th house Pisces. Pisces is like the next extent of that, right? Because as the water signs, it's Cancer first, and then it's Scorpio, and then then Pisces, right? Like that's how, like mentally, our forms of consciousness, how it be in terms of like depth and what's like how much is hidden. Like we got to go through Cancer, then the Scorpio, and then the Pisces. Like so like just to give you guys an example. So 8th house, mystery, sex, finances, loans, inheritance, generational, gifts and things of that nature. Let's see, Mercury in Aries, 8th house. Yeah, so 8th house right now, get some perspective on what triggers you as well, what's hidden beneath the surface. That's a big one. So therapy may be big, and also 8th house mysteries may be big. Like you may notice yourself wanting to learn a little bit more about occultism and psychic work and shit like this astrology and all that stuff. I'm Scorpio, so 8th house, I know all that stuff. All that stuff. This is also an excellent time for research and and expanding the mind. So a lot of research right now, a lot of research and a lot of digging beneath the surface, right? It's going beneath the veil to really understand the core of something, right? That's really the psychological generalization of Scorpio, really, and the depths, right? It's psychologically breaking through the barrier and breaking through the surface and analyzing what's in there, right? And being able to research and dig deeper than most. That's the power of the 8th house right there, right? Obviously, sometimes I'm not biased. We can go on with some shit and it's long-winded and it can be too deep for a lot of people. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see. So guys, right now in Aries, you may want to assert your energy, you may want to learn, you may want to do a lot of research, go in head first. Be very motivated about it. You're very fast, you're very direct. You want to learn, you know exactly what you want to do, right? With that Aries energy, but it's slowing you down. There's some things you got to learn about it first, right? It's like, okay, I see you want to move with that 8th house stuff fast. You want to be an astrologer. You want to do some tarot. You want to learn more about divinations and the areas of magic and witchcraft and the occult and esotericism, right? And all this shit. But you got to learn first. You got to learn first. You gotta learn, the correspondence. The correspondence. As above, so below, we gotta learn the correspondences, right? So that Mercury retrograde. Ninth house, man. Ninth house. Let's go. Ninth house, ninth house, Sagittarius space, etc. Let's see. Mercury there. Limit your intake of gossip, small talk, television. This is a time to sift through all the thoughts, information, and ideas you've gathered and share them with others through writing, teaching, and public speaking. Very important. But we're retrograde, so this, I'm giving you the direct energy because I know you probably feel the direct energy, but it's not playing out like that because it's retrograde. So I'm giving you the retrograde correspondence, like intuitively, because I don't this is like what I'm reading, guys. This is like, don't think this is like, this video is not scripted or anything like that. I'm reading certain insights based upon certain houses so I can stay in track. I was gonna write it down, but I'm like, I got stuff on this, so I don't need to write necessarily anything down. I got my own notes on this stuff too, but it's important to know that too, because particularly, guys, a lot of these things they won't tell you. Like, you can go on Google and be a Google scholar, you know what I'm saying? Google scholar, and check out and learn about Mercury retrogrades and stuff like that, the sign, like, and it'll go into retrogrades and things of that nature, right? Mercury, I'll break it down for you. Mercury is retrograde about 3 times each year for 3 weeks at a time. Mercury is a planet that rules among period, amongst other things, communication, technology, transportation, and learning. I think when they say Mercury is the planet that, oh, never mind. Okay, no, yeah, Mercury is the planet that rules. Okay, among other things, communication, technology, transportation, learning. Its retrograde period are times when anything and everything related to these areas of your life are presumed to be vulnerable, right? And that's why I say, guys, it's a very strong time because your vulnerability is your strength. Believe me, certain people, places, and things and situations. No, don't be vulnerable because it ain't the right circumstance or situation. You got to be intuitive in that. But there's times where your vulnerability is a beautiful strength. Do not underestimate being vulnerable. A lot of these guys is, I can't get that vulnerable and that. Nah, bro, you guys are clowns. But listen, anyways, let's see. To be vulnerable, vulnerable to misadventure or unpredictability, right? Can't predict everything. You gotta let things go, right? And that's the thing. So. And then misadventure. So a lot of plans that you had going on can just go in 360, right? Because Mercury is like the mind. Mercury is the mind. So a lot of things you set your mind to is not going straight, it's going back. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be mindful. You gotta be mindful of these moments, right? You gotta be mindful of these, and the energy that comes with them, because you'll catch yourself in certain situations, like, and you're like, that, because then you find the correspondence of like why you was playing out certain energies, but it's all there, right? It's all there. When you consciously aware, you can pick it up in the same moment. Like, oh, I'm playing this out right now, right? In certain times. If you really like be on the trend, like if the trend just really be in your mind, a lot of times, like it be in my mind by itself, and then I'll be doing something. I'm like, damn, I just played that out. That's crazy. Or like I seen someone play that out, and that's crazy, And it's like, because at the end of the day, guys, if they're forms of consciousness, and the mind that is in on itself, and the mind is the first form that the spirit embodies. We're just walking planets, walking fucking, what I'm saying, energy signatures and shit like that. So you have to understand that. People will say, oh, you can't base everything not based off astrology. All right, cool, that's fine, but there's still psychological behavior going on right now. The sun still transits, and we still have spring, summer, winter, and fall every year, which means it's always something going on as far as the sun and the earth in terms of the equator activity. So just because of that, we're always going to have the changes of seasons. And just because we have the changes of seasons, we'll always have astrology. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is it's crazy. So that's in terms of Mercury. And, a lot of times, for example, like I said, I was getting into the ninth house, right? too much, not too much gossip, a little bit of small talk, a little bit of exploration, a little bit of documentaries, right? Things of that nature that you like to watch, educational films and shows and things of that nature. It's time to kind of really dive in on your thoughts right now and and the information that you're receiving, right? Who are you learning from? How are you thinking about yourself and towards others, right? What ideas that you gathered, and who should you share them with? That can help you grow, that'll push the needle forward, or that'll push the needle back. Ninth house, Mercury. And you're gonna feel a little bit vulnerable right now because you're gonna wanna do it, or you're gonna wanna move forward with this, share certain information and share ideas with other people, etc. But you feel a little vulnerable that you may not, you shouldn't share certain things with certain people, places, and things right now, which is okay because that could be telling you something right now. That vulnerability to protect certain information, and not everything needs to be disclosed and not everything needs to be put out there for people to see or receive, right? So that's the energy Mercury's teaching, and it's teaching you because it's a mental process. You see what I'm saying? You're realizing like, damn, like mentally you can't do that. You gotta keep things within yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Work on that seed, and then maybe when if you have the right information, you see the right characteristics from certain people, and then okay, maybe you can express them. You learn from another person that you really trust, and you can they want to see you win. All right, now you can share some information, and we'll probably see that energy at the end of Aries season as we go into Taurus at April 25th. That will be Taurus season already, actually. So, boom, will be Mercury in Aries in Taurus. So we're gonna want to be very assertive mentally, a lot of quick-witted decisions, and knowing how to take action and knowing how to move forward with direction, knowing exactly what direction we're going to take regarding our earnings, our career, our you know, how we earn, whether it's day to day, whether it's career, or whether etc. Right? Our earnings, our value, the things we value, people, places, and things, all that, material possessions, all that. Right? So I think this time is a very big time to sit back and analyze that, because once we go direct, we're moving forward. It's straight propel, because we're then gonna know, because we sat back and done this analyzing for 3-4 weeks to know, okay, what our values are when Taurus season comes around, who and where we want to spend money, right? How we want to indulge, who and where we want to indulge, and what we want to indulge with, because that's Venus energy, right? So all these things are going to be this is a very big time to kind of sit down and utilize this time. So when Taurus comes around, we know exactly where our values are at. We know exactly in terms of what material possessions we want in our space, or we want to accumulate to get to point A to point B, etc. And that's it, right? So be mindful of that. My ninth house is a big one. Mercury in the 10th house. Let's see, 10th house, Capricorn space, right? Boom. Career status, foundation, stability. I'd probably put money there too, just because. You know, it's because at the end of the day, like your status can be is technically a reference to how you make money. Like, if you're a man, like your status, your money and your status is kind of like intertwined, right? So, shit, call it whatever you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think, like, personally, like in business, I think that. So. So yeah, you know, but let's get a move on. 10th house, show your brain off, learn new career related skills, take a communication related career to the next level. So whatever you're doing in the 10th house, if you utilize communication in any way, shape, or form in your career, it's time to take that to the next level. Right now, you may be a little vulnerable to how you use your voice and how you express yourself. It may seem a little uncomfortable, and it may seem like you're not ready yet, and you may have conflicting thoughts. Whether it's your time to level up within this communicational career, whether you're a therapist, whether you're an astrologer, whether you're a talker, whether you're a content creator, whether you're a musician, whether you're a spelling bee performer, who knows, right? All of that, guys. So it's important to use your voice, whether you're a teacher, maybe you're in school, right? Maybe you teach kids, etc. In like traditional school. So or maybe you want to, Maybe you've been doing that. Maybe they do like tutoring. It's time to level up. Maybe you do like online courses. Or maybe you want to do courses. It's time to do it. It's time to put the work in. You know what I'm saying? Like type shit, right? And then get your voice out there. You can teach and you can talk and you can display, right? Like maybe you've been wanting to make a YouTube. Make a YouTube. Now is the time. Like use your voice, right? Like now is the time to sit and do those things. So when we go direct in Taurus, we take actions on our values. And based upon our values, we know what we want to accumulate in terms of material possession. As within, so without. 11th house. Let's get it. Now is a good time to 11th house, Aquarius space. Humanitarian energy. Partially collective energy. Authenticity. It is a communication house as well, and also a social networking house. This can be online associates or work associates. This is and does involve other people though, other individuals. The 11th house is other individuals. So we earn, second house, how we earn based upon our values. Based upon our values, we now know how we want to create a routine so we can create longevity. And that creates structure, organization, routine, and a day job. No matter what it is. I don't care if you're, well, we all have a day job, whether you work a millionaire, whether you're an entrepreneur, or whether you're fucking Jeff Bezos, who knows? Like you work. So at the end of the day, if you're a boss of something, you're organizing something, you're getting your people in charge, you're making sure your people are good. That's your day job. Simple, right? So that's the 6th house, right? And then we ascend. And then that's in terms of work. So in terms of relationships, we have the 3rd, how we communicate, how we speak to others, and our surrounding environment. My room, my house, my friends, family, things of that nature, right? How I communicate with them, how I express myself with them, how we certain conversations that we have, etc. And then there is the 7th house, right? Those friendships or friend circles or friend groups turn into businesses, business relationships or business partnerships, and one-on-one relationships, where it can become intimate, or it can become business, or it can become something more than just a friend circle, where like, you have a friend group, but 1 or 2 out of the friend group is like your closest friends. We all have those. That's 7th house. See what I'm saying? That's 7th house. Or like the one homie out of the circle, you can do business with, or he's business oriented or like spiritually tapped in like you. That's 7th house. And then we go to 11th house. Associates, friend circle can all, like 3rd house can also be online and social media as well, like your group chats and shit like that, and then there's 7th house, and then people online, that's 3rd house too, and then 11th house, where it's like associations, sales associates, employees, people that's direct, that you're connected directly with, right? Like it's like you're doing something with that person for one outcome. That's like an associate, because y'all are focused on one like focal point. You get what I'm saying? That's the associate. It's like when you go to your job, that's why you call your coworker an associate, because you guys are working for the same mission. Whether you individually have the same mission while you're there or not, doesn't matter, because whoever built that corporation to hire you guys to work there is working towards their mission, the same mission, and that's the same mission. You see what I'm saying? So it's intertwined and connected. That's the point. That's the point. So I wanted to touch on that too. Let's get it. Last house. So like right now you might be a little vulnerable. So right now is a good time to visit, chat with friends, and indulge yourself in like a little bit of social networking. Right now you need to step back from social networking and see who you actually vibe with and how you feel towards these people in order to position yourself to be around them or who you want to be involved with. Be mindful of that as well. And I think that's a big factor right now for you. You may be receiving flashes of inspiration that's unexpected, which is good. But this inspiration can be showing you whether or not you want to be a part of the association or if you want to kind of create your own association. Big one. Because you can receive flashes of inspiration from people that kind of turn you off mentally. Like, oh, I'm glad he said that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm glad they said that. Because I don't want me. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. I don't want to do nothing with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that shit. That's that shit. Anyways, 12th house, let's get it. Pisces space, of course, dreamy, fantasy, illusion, rose-colored glasses, all that. You know, your dreams, the dream realm, the subconscious realm as well, direct subconscious mind. So all this right here, very important part. As much as possible, give your mind a vacation this month. Feed it lots of novels, books, aka educate. Um, I'm not gonna mention what that says because I don't feel like that serves you. If you like television though, enjoy it, you know, but watch something you can learn from and educate yourself. Keep your mind stimulated as this is retrograde, not direct. So if this was direct, I would say give your mind a little bit of a break, but we're not. So there's something that you need to learn right now before you can get that break, right? Mentally. So there may be, whether you're going through whatever and you're there like, yo, the situation has my mind fucked up. Like there's something you gotta learn from that situation so that your mind's not fucked up. You see what I'm saying? Like type stuff. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Music can be good right now. But be more intentional. You may want to not do much, but at the same time mentally it's conflicting because we're in retrograde. So right now you're low key you probably feel normally like, damn, I don't want to do much right now, but the retrograde is pushing you to actually do shit right now. So you're like, damn, I don't want to do much, but like I'm doing it, you know, like but you know you got to do it though. Like that's what you know. For the 12th house, Mercury is in Aries, you know you got to do something. You see what I'm saying? Because the 12th house is so sleepy with Pisces that it's like half asleep, you know what I'm saying? And you don't really realize it, but mentally you know you're like, okay, I gotta do something. Like there's something here that's not right. I can't just sit down like this. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it is right now during this retrograde. And whatever work you put in now is it during the retrograde is gonna allow you to kind of chill, not even chill, but it's gonna allow you to plant the seeds you needed to plant so you can be actively working or resting and working when you're my language when you're ready to move forward, right? When you're ready to move forward. So be mindful of that too. Be mindful of that too, because when Taurus season comes around, you're gonna start gearing up to be ready to move forward. When we get out of that Mercury retrograde, we start coming into the shadow. May 10th, May 11th, May 9th, and stuff like that. May 8th, you know, May 5th, beginning of May, you're gonna start feeling okay. Like, okay, I did that. I'm glad I did that because now I actually have some stuff that I can bring to the table that I can value. Because if you have an Aries 12th house, that means you have your Taurus rising. So at the end of the day, now you're like, all right, bet. Now there's something that I have a value for myself that people can see for myself. So now you just created an opportunity for yourself for people to see whatever you just did. So now that's gonna allow you to attract more opportunities. So when we come for Taurus season, boom, you get to move forward. But you have to make sure to catch the shift right now. So you need the time and not the distraction. So you should be watching this video because this is not a distraction. This is conscious awareness. Don't like all my videos are intentional, and all my videos should bring you conscious awareness and knowledge. to ascend beyond this. You shouldn't even have to watch me forever, because you watch me long enough, you'll probably know what you'll have your own train of thoughts, and you'll go your own way type stuff, right? So that's a big thing. 12th house, as much as possible, you might have you may want to chill, but it's not calling you to do so right now. So that's the last sign, guys. Last sign, I think we're transitioning as well from Venus in Pisces to Venus in Aries, guys. So be mindful as that. From Venus in Pisces, obviously Venus is exalted in Pisces, a lot of unconditional love, a lot of clarity towards your relationships as well. So you may notice that as well, because relationships are a very big emphasis exactly right now, especially with the retrograde. Like, you may want to say things, or you may want to do things mentally. You may want to take actions, but mentally you guys are not there yet. But you do love this individual a lot, because you have clarity there, because Venus is showing you that. But Mercury right now is making you analyze in certain ways, so you can show up how you are supposed to show up, right? Authentically. So guys, that's all the house systems, breaking it down. I will see if I can drop some timestamps below. We're about an hour and 10 in or so, which is good. Thank you to everyone tuning in. Maybe I had some people in here throughout the entire live, so shout out to all y'all. Shout out to all my magicians, MC, 333. Now more Himalaya reality, let's go. You know how we do. Let's get it.